Hello, Christine here again with Million-Dollar-Startup.co. Today I'd like to talk about how you get your startup really on the road to success. And I like to think of this as getting your startup on a superhighway that takes you and your investors to the place where you want to go. Some of the secrets of this are set out in the 12 steps that I'm going to talk about in a minute that help you accelerate from your beginning idea to a going concern, which is a self-sustaining business. Now, when you start on this, so when you start, you have a great idea, which is, a beginning, but every startup must quickly shift gears early on so that they can be in a growth acceleration phase, so that they are busy getting customers, hopefully beginning to generate revenue, and are headed towards having the ability to be self-sustaining. Because reaching these goals puts your startup on the startup superhighway, where you can acquire customers for less than their value to the company is, and that itself is the secret and the path to sustained growth and success. Now, there are 12 steps, as I said, to getting your startup from an idea to a going concern, and shifting through these steps puts you on the road to startup success. So let's talk about what those steps are now. Number one, you want to know how you are different. A potential customer, or even a potential investor for that matter, must know how what you are offering is superior to the alternatives. This evaluation from both customers and investors comes really early in the sales cycle. So you want to have a firm understanding of your own benefits and advantages so that you can communicate them to your prospects. Now, your offering will only get selected when you are better than competitors, DIY options, or doing nothing. So the faster you can convince someone interested in your product or company that you have the goods and you can deliver on your promises, the faster you're going to attract new customers. Customer growth is the key here to successful fundraising as well. So you want to make a win-win, and actually a win-win-win for you, your customers, and your investors. Secondly, you want to know why you are different. And that is that, and not just cosmetically. Being different for its own sake is a curiosity matter. It's not a commercial advantage. Make sure that you are different and better than competing offers for reasons that matter to your customers. This will also help you put together your marketing and sales conversations, because you are going to be able to talk to customers about what they want and how you are able to best meet their objectives. As when we start startups, all too often we are so in love with our own products that we only convey what we think is so wonderful. That has limited appeal, however, to disinterested strangers who are looking at your company and your products. So ultimately, except for family and friends, no one much cares why you're so enamored with your business. Because of that, your product needs to be different in a way that matches with customer needs or what a customer wants or desires. When you have that kind of a built-in set of advantages, you are different for a customer-oriented reason, and you are going to be very attractive to people who are looking to solve a problem that you think you have found a solution for. Moving on to number 3, you want to have a compelling business description. Now, you have a young, exciting startup that is being built from the ground up to discover and solve pressing customer problems. Let's take a step back, though, for a minute. If this does not describe the essence of your startup, go back to the drawing board until you have one that is. Your business description should likewise be vibrant and compelling. So work on your elevator pitch until it really catches the imagination of your listener, and also until you can deliver it in an engaging way. Unless you're selling mattresses, people do not want to buy from a company that puts them to sleep. Now let's talk about number 4. Number 4 is know where you stand. Your company is not a generalist. It makes a particular product for a particular customer set for particular reasons. Additionally, you and your company also have certain beliefs about which business practices you are going to follow. Once you've thought all these things out, be confident in why your system is superior, and then let the world know. Belief in your product, processes, and people is magnetic, and you can, will, and should attract customers, additional employees, and investors who share your beliefs. But they have to have a clear understanding of what those beliefs are in order to make sure that they are compatible with your belief system and procedures. 5 is you want to check market conditions. You want to know the weather before you go on any trip. It's no different in running a business. Take frequent surveys of new competitors, customer attitudes, technological developments, and your own internal operations. Doing so will keep you on top of what other providers, buyers, the tech landscape, and your business are doing. This is a fast-paced world, and you need to be constantly updating your marketing information to stay on top. 6 means find your customers. Every business, absolutely every business, is in the customer acquisition and satisfaction business. Everything else is a hobby and is running on hypotheticals. You want to get into business, real business, as soon as possible, and you can only do that by getting real customers. Just the very process of seeking out potential customers tests your theory about what your business is about, and it also helps you adjust as you need to meet customer needs. It is only driving into the actual marketplace and seeing the obstacles and the path that can teach you the lessons you need to know about your business model, your product offerings, and the target customers. These are all things that are absolutely critical to know for you to succeed. Then we move on to 7, which is understand who your next customers will be. Growth and adaptation are fundamental in any startup. Once you've identified your first customer, you then need to begin working on a system to get more. Often, the very first customers reach you through a fragmented system. Take special interest in where you found these customers to see if more buyers like them can be found in the same place. Also, map the process that you went through from initial interest to final sale so you can begin to systemize this process as well. That way, you are drawing a roadmap for finding new interested prospects as well as understanding the steps it takes to convert them into customers. Mastering this step changes your business from one that is wandering around hoping to find customers to one that knows how to get to where customers are and knows how to get them on the sales bus. Companion step to 7 is step number 8, which is write out your customer path. One really effective way to visualize the sales cycle is to look at it from the customer's perspective. When you can describe what the discovery, interest, evaluation, and selection steps a customer goes through on the way to making a purchase, you really, really understand your customer. And understanding your customer well is itself a competitive advantage that you want to gain and you want to exploit. When you really understand your customer, you can tailor your product to appeal specifically to them in a way that your customers cannot. So then move on to number 9, which is do a resources check. It is axiomatic that startups have to make the most of limited resources. This drives successful startups to really focus on one niche product designed to appeal to a narrow customer set in the beginning. This approach is necessary because no small business can be all things to all people. For instance, Facebook was initially only available to Harvard students. The development team took the time to really understand their first users, their customers, before expanding. Even as Facebook rolled out their product, it initially moved to other campuses before it spread across the globe. So understanding who you are selling to and make sure that you are dedicating your scarce development, sales, and financial resources so that they deliver the best product you can make and delivers them to the right customers. Then go on to number 10, build and test your first release. To get customers, obviously you have to have a product. Not necessarily a finished product, but something to begin getting people to test drive it. Only this way can you learn about how well your solution design meets actual customer expectations. Although it's awfully tempting to keep refining and fussing with a product, you really have to make a commitment to get out of the student driver phase and get some real road experience. The way to do this is in a controlled but realistic business scenario where actual skeptical customers evaluate what you have to offer, and you can see if they will really trade their money for your product. Then once you're ready for release, you want to go on to 11, which is a dry run. Startups are exciting in and of themselves, but first real-world sales efforts can be nerve-wracking. So run your first customer acquisition efforts in a way that will give you some hard knocks experience, but really won't damage your business. You should never let a release failure, especially a first effort, spell doom for your startup. Instead, design your release efforts so that you can learn and improve from whatever happens. You will always be able to live to race another day, so don't crash and burn before you have really even begun. And then let's go on to 12. Run your numbers. Numbers aren't everything, but they give you very useful insights into the fundamental metrics of your business. Keeping on top of customer acquisition, revenue growth, and business development numbers helps you keep up to date on performance. Watching the numbers also lets you know when you need to hit the gas to make sure you get to your goals on time. And now let's talk about a bonus step that will help you pull away from the pack. You want to be lucky, and be lucky by design. Now, we all know people who seem to catch all the breaks, but being in the right place in the right time brings enormous advantages to your business as well. Once you know your customers and where to find them, you can have location advantage over your competitors and start catching breaks yourself. But to be fair, it won't really be luck. It will be the art of knowing where to be and the right time to be there. So there you have it. Use these steps to get your startup up and running. And if you'd like to find some additional resources, we have lists, webinar invitations, and more at milliondolarstartup.co. See you there.